What's up everybody, my name is Alex, this is Alex Plays Games, and today is episode 4 of Dominion SMP. There's a couple things I want to get done today. Two big things, and I'm really hoping I can, and I think I can get everything done and edited. The first thing is finishing up the mob farm. So last episode I built the whole base, and then I built the platform. The other thing I want to get done is a kelp farm. I'm going to go ahead and link the kelp farm in the description and put a little eye up at the top right of the screen. Now, the design is really easy, and it's embarrassing why okay, right? I was going to build a farm, and I built that bamboo farm because in my head, I was like, that's going to make smelting things easier. And while bamboo is flammable, for whatever reason, that was like the go-to thing. And I totally forgot that it was actually kelp, and I'm embarrassed about it. I built this zero-tick farm to build up some bamboo, and I was like, this is going to be awesome. I'm not going to have to use any coal, nothing. It's going to be all automatic. And then I was watching videos, and the answer was kelp to make dried kelp blocks. So that was interesting. So I am going to rectify that situation today. I'm going to build a kelp farm. This episode is going to be a little bit different, however. So last episode, it took me a really long time to build this, and that was why we didn't get to finish. And I think there was too much time-lapse footage. And I realized it once I was editing it, and I cut a lot of it out, but I think too much remained. And I want to make the episode more of me doing things and talking about it and teaching you guys if I'm doing something new versus having a quarter of the videos be a time-lapse. So I'm going to start experimenting with doing more cuts and kind of giving progress updates as I go, and I'll reserve the time-lapse for bigger things. So I'll most likely do a time-lapse of me like building all 7, the rest of the 7, because I am only going to do 8 because of the mob spawning rules, to make the video a little bit more interesting, and I think that'll help speed up the pace just a little bit. The first thing I need to do, however, I don't know if you saw me accidentally hit the inventory key, is clean out my inventory and clean out the shulker boxes so I can actually get started on a project. Now, I am going to take this one down. So the kelp farm that we're doing today requires a lot of observers and a lot of pistons. And I know I'm going to need some of those for the mob farm. So the first thing I'm going to do is gather some supplies. And this gives me a fantastic excuse to show off the spawn area and the really cool redstone shop that they have down there. I was actually getting ready to cut to go over to spawn to the redstone shop, but look, this is starting to become a problem. There was a few of them at first, and then there was 1 and 2 and 3, and now there's 4, 5. When is it gonna end? I already know that one of the shops is going to be providing netherite. So over here, I don't know if they're going to be providing the ingots or the blocks, but I know over here they're going to be doing it. The thing that's really interesting about this place, though, is I know that we're not allowed to have world eaters on here, so we can have TNT dupers, but not world eaters that just go through the entire bottom of the nether and pick everything up. So I'm thinking, are they just going to do it with TNT, or are they just going to do it with beds? That's going to take so long. I think the price that they're going to set for it, we were talking about it, and they said they were probably going in and thinking about a figure around 12 to 16 diamonds per ingot, which sounds like a lot, but you only have to use 1. We all have mending, so it's definitely not going to be a problem. So for the kelp farm, we need a few things. We need observers and pistons and some redstone dust. Now, I already have a lot of redstone and a lot of redstone dust, so we're definitely good on that. However, I definitely need... I don't think we need any repeaters, and I have a good chunk of them in here. I am running low on comparators, though, so I think I'll pick some of those up. It looks like we have pistons. So I think the only thing we need is observers, because I know I'm going to use the observers for the mob farm, and I think this requires just over a stack and a half or so. And it does only require a couple hoppers, so it doesn't look like we have some there. What I'll go ahead and do is pull out some diamonds. The thing is I really can't wait to show off the shop, though, because I know it's not that impressive, but it's so cool. It just sucks them right up, takes them away, out of sight, out of mind. The only problem is, you know, if you want to return something, That's not gonna happen. So observers right here. Oh, these are also 2 diamonds per stack. It's funny because I bought some the other day, so it's not like I don't know what's going on here. It's cool though, they have inventory statistics up here represented by all the lights. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is run by my shop. I haven't been on in a day or two, so I'm gonna go see if anybody made any purchases, and I will be back, and we are gonna get started on the mob farm. All right, here is the shop. It doesn't look like anybody bought any heads, but it does look like some people got some end loot, which is awesome. I need to go back out there though, which it definitely takes a while because I just got to sit there and do that for a couple hours. It's definitely not awful. It's a little mundane though, a little boring, but it's definitely worth it if I'm gonna start making some actual money on it. The nice thing is though, is I pretty much just reimbursed myself for the supplies that I bought, and before I leave, okay, for whatever reason, I almost thought I left my stuff. That would have not been fun. So we left off here. I'm gonna go ahead and go up the 7 more layers. So this is layer 1. We'll have a total of 8. I'm gonna go ahead and have a couple progress updates throughout the way. I'm not going to do a time lapse this time. I want to see if it works. If you guys like it a little bit better and you think it's a better quality video, let me know. If you do want the time lapses back, let me know as well. But I'll be right back. One last thing before I actually do start building the farm is there is one change that does need to be made. So the thing is I said it last episode, there was a change where the water physics are different now, so items will actually get stuck on those. So all that I've had to do, and I tested this in a creative world, so it should work fine here. I'm gonna get an infinite water source going. All you need to do is place a water bucket. Let's see, I'm gonna place that right there. All you need to do is place a water bucket in the magma block corners. Then we need to place one right here. Let's go that way, and need to fly all the way back over here. I'm gonna go ahead and do this for all the corners, but all you need to do is place that water bucket right there. It doesn't affect the farm in any way. No mobs got stuck. They were still being damaged when they were standing on that block, so it seems like everything is working fine. But I did want to mention that before I continued. All right, so that is 8 layers. We finally have done all of it. If you are going to build this in your single player world, or even a bigger server that has different spawning rules, I'd recommend doing more, but this is definitely going to be enough for us. The problem now is I used all of my stone. It uses a lot more than you would think. I think I went through maybe 20 stacks or so. I used all of them that were in my inventory, and the problem now is I know I'm going to need a bunch of slabs so we can put a roof over it so it doesn't get right inside and the mobs will still spawn. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some more stone in the super smelter, and that way I'll be able to go ahead and cover the whole thing with stone brick. The end goal is to have this completely surrounded in concrete, so it might not be the biggest deal then, or I'm gonna try to get it with concrete. If I have to, I'll use another block, but I think concrete would look the best, and I really want to have like a big square around it and have different mob faces on all the different sides, and we can use colored concrete or colored glass. I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet, but that is my end goal. So right now I am going to put the roof on it, and I think when I do get these supplies, I'll probably make it a little bit skinnier, but I want to keep it proportionate. So whenever I get the materials and I can actually completely encase it in concrete, I will definitely let you guys know. That's going to be a big project. That's something I'll definitely do a time lapse on. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the stone that I need to smelt up into smooth stone, and I will see you guys back when I am building the roof. So I put all the stone in the smelter, and I was just like, oh, let me go put my stuff away so I can do it in one go, like take it out of the shulker box. And I'm like, all right, let me just go ahead and use this chest over here, and bam, I have a lot of smooth stone. I don't know where it came from. I must have moved it because I checked the chest and it was empty. It's embarrassing, but also it just really goes to show organization is key. All right, so the last thing that we need to do is place this note block right here. place another block on top of it, and then I actually need to make some slabs. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a crafting bench up here. I have more smooth stone in here, and I need to place it on the bottom side of, yep, right here. So I need to go out right here where it ends, and then go out an additional 15 to have a 0 light level. This is actually going to take way more blocks than I thought it was. I'll be right back. When that's done, we'll build the etho clock, the etho hopper clock, and then that should be it. We'll be all done and get to see how this works. All right, everybody, welcome back. That took a lot longer and a lot more stone than I thought it was, but as you can see here, it's already spawning a few mobs, which is fantastic. Excuse me, I get like basic stuff, but man, it's really incredible. Okay, let's see, break this and put that one there. All right, so the hoppers are here. We need a block here. Is that gonna mess anything up? No. Okay, and a block. Actually, let me not do that. Let me go ahead and put just another half slab on top. That should work fine. So comparator and the comparator, and then those comparators are going to go into stone blocks like this. Then we need some redstone dust. Go on top of those there. And then a piston here, a piston here. None of these have items in them. Let's see here. Get everything ready. So then a redstone block is going to go here. And then the only thing you need to do now is toss in 28 items. So what should happen now is this should switch every few seconds or so. I do want to make sure that it does. I want to make sure everything is done correctly. All right, that looks good. I am gonna light this part up because mobs can spawn here, but it did swap. That is good. So the different layers are all alternating. So as you can see here, half are covered in water and then the other half aren't, and then they do switch. So it does look like things are starting to spawn. Okay, so that should start putting some stuff in here. There's all that stuff. So what I did a little bit earlier is show you how to go ahead and place the water right there, and that is just going to prevent any mobs from, or any items from getting stuck right there. And you can see it doesn't interrupt with anything. It doesn't change anything or mess anything up, which is awesome. We're going to go ahead and look at the Y level. So we're at 69, 70. We'll actually go up all the way to, I want to be safe. I don't want those mobs to despawn because they will sometimes land there. So we'll call it 72. So the goal is 178, but I'm not 100% sure on the accuracy of that. So I'll go up to what this gets me up to. So probably once I'll call it 165. So this should start spawning the mobs. I'm going to go ahead and leave it AFK for a little bit just to make sure that everything's working and I see things kind of functioning. So I will be right back. All right, you know, honestly, not that bad for about 20 minutes. I will definitely take it. I got a good amount of gunpowder. I hear that. And let's see, rotten. I see that. But yeah, I got a good amount of stuff. I'm pretty happy with it. Oh, they called their reinforcements. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff. I am pretty happy with this. For 20 minutes, I'll definitely take it. And it's just not as optimal as a single player world would be. So, I mean, I think this would be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like about 6 stacks of drops. So, I mean, that's 18 stacks. We'll call it 15 stacks every hour. And, I mean, that's something to be concerned about. So I'm going to go ahead and get the resources required for the kelp farm. It's a lot of water, a lot of observers, and a lot of pistons. But other than that, it's pretty simple, pretty easy. Alright, so I did a little bit of off-camera work and made this sorting system. So we have arrows, string, bones, and gunpowder. So everything extra is going to run down that hopper line. It's going to come down into here, as you can see. We'll put a lever right here Turn that on, and it's just going to toss everything into the fire. Alright, so I'm going to place the farm right here, and eventually I'm going to get rid of this, but I've been a little lazy because it's filled with stuff, and I don't want to deal with it. But the farm is going to require these main resources right here. So ignoring the smooth stone and the sand in my inventory, it's going to be a stack and 11 of pistons, a stack and 11 of observers, a stack and 11 of redstone dust, and a stack and 11 of kelp. I'm going to turn this all into glass. So you're going to need these main resources right here, these building blocks, and I'm going to use a lot of glass. And then you do need some miscellaneous things. You need some fence gates, some hoppers, possibly a smoker, or a furnace, and some chests and some water. So just some various things, and I'll go through that as I go ahead and build it. But these are the main things that you're going to want to need. So it is a little, it doesn't seem like it, but it's a little bit resource heavy, or a little bit resource intensive, especially on the observers and the pistons. And it doesn't seem like a ton, but making a stack of pistons definitely takes some supplies. I also spent way too much time lighting up around my base because I'm so tired of mobs everywhere, and it'll make this better. But you can see, like, I lit up the mountain, and I tried to go out a little bit further and relight all of this, and it's just been so exhausting. But it's also made me realize, like, how little coal that I have. I have a ton of coal, but it's all in, like, ore form, and I don't want to deal with it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and smelt up the glass, get some more smooth stone since I have tons of it. Okay, so the basic principle for this farm is that we're gonna have a layer of pistons, we're gonna have the kelp growing, and then we're gonna have some observers right on top of it. And this farm is actually from a video I saw by Kmon, so go ahead and check out the top right. I'm gonna go ahead and link that video in there. So if you want to watch him build it, definitely go ahead. He goes way more in depth than I'm going to. So you start with a 4x19, and you're gonna build a outline here. You're gonna go up a second layer and leave the rest of it open. So what you're gonna do is gonna place the pistons facing forward like that. And then we're gonna put a redstone line behind it. So if you wanted to skimp out on observers, you could probably replace these with blocks and then just have one or two observers that would trigger everything. And this is it's almost a tier design, so you're just gonna go upwards and backwards one. So the observers are gonna become the floor for the next layer, and so up and so on. So once you have that part done and you fill everything in, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of the glass, and obviously you don't have to have lime, but I think it's really gonna match since, you know, the kelp is green. And then the last thing we're going to have to do is just place the water. So if you didn't have ice, which luckily I do, you would place two here like this. And then you would go every other block. So it'd be right there and then right there. And then you could pull from here and kind of go back and forth. This is definitely one way to do it. But I know that if I just get a bunch of ice, because I know some people have them, it's just going to be a lot easier to place it all at the end and then just break everything. So I built all the layers up. It is looking real nice. It's just so much bigger than you think it would be, honestly, but it does look awesome. But on the last layer, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So we need everything to fall off here, and we're gonna have stuff under it for the water to flow into like one central collection system. However, we need water to flow, and we need it to flow this way. And if we, you know, start placing it there, it's just gonna turn into still water like everything else has. And you're gonna place slabs on the top layer like that. Luckily, earlier yesterday, but early on the episode, I figured out that you could turn the smooth stone slabs back into smooth stone, which is really interesting. But then you're just going to go ahead and place the water like that. And it should stop, yep, right at the fence gates. I might have actually not needed all this water because I put it here. I think I can, like, yeah, pull it out of there. That's fine. So now that everything's flowing, you can come back in, remove the slabs. Everything is going to pop back over. It's going to, and the water's still going to flow. So everything is going to go right back over the edge. So everything under here is still solid, and this isn't actually going to affect it thanks to those new waterlogging physics, which is so awesome. All right, so the last thing that we need to do is place in the smoker some hoppers and some chests. They fall in here, and that is just going to make the kelp. So I'll toss this in here because I kept getting it while I was using the farm. To get it started, I actually put some coal in here because I was lazy and didn't know where else to put it. But now we can actually put it up in there. Let's go ahead and put the coal in here. So that's going to start using that. Now you don't have to use a smoker, but for 4 logs, it's going to just smelt so much faster. So I would definitely use it. That's going to turn into dried kelp eventually. And then once that's done, that's going to come down here, turn into dried kelp, and then we'll be able to turn that into kelp blocks. I think that's it besides replacing that block right there. And OCD is not going to let me keep that. It can be messy, but it has to be messy in an organized way. Alright. Okay, we definitely got a lot done today. I got the mob farm finished. Everything is working there. I got the kelp farm up and running. And I got the sorting system for the mob farm. Everything is working fantastic. I haven't had the chance to AFK, so we didn't get that much more. Well, I mean, we did get... Yeah, no, we only got like a stack or so, probably, of everything. But I have been down here, and I have been working on lighting everything up. So I'm definitely happy with everything. It was a busy day today. We got a lot of stuff done. Get one final aerial view of this. But I think it looks really, really good. I like how this looks. I like how that looks. Everything came out really, really great. So, I've never flown like this before, and I do not recommend it. Oh my god. There we go. That's fine. We'll land before I do the outro. Alright. So, thank you guys for watching today. Leave a comment or a like if you can. Subscribe if you want to. Other than that, have a great day.